Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our Senior Advisory Committee for Monday, August 14th, 2023. Our chair, Chair Silverton, is unable to make it this afternoon, so I'll be chairing the meeting. So I'll call the meeting to order at 1:31 and ask for a motion to approve the agenda. Okay, Member Meyer and Member Halliday. Member Halliday, do you have an addition or deletion?
Yes, I'd like to add 6.6, which comes from the minutes, which was under member privilege on the minutes. Was 6.1 on the minutes. A friendly action plan on seniors section and seniors initiatives, chaired through Great Highlands. I'd like that to become maybe our 6.6 this time.
So it's in the minutes from last month.
Yeah. Under 6.1.
6.1. Where are you? Friendly action plan. So what are you wanting to add?
A discussion on that initiative.
All right. Okay. I don't see a problem in that as long as our coordinator is okay with that. It's nothing that's specific. So if everybody's okay with that. Member Halliday, you're moving that to be added. Do we have a seconder to add that to the agenda? Okay, Member Meyer. And then, so now, just let me think. I need a motion to approve let's vote on that. All in favor of adding that? Okay, that's carried. And now a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Okay, Member Meyer again, and Member Kerr. Any discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor? All right, that's carried. Thank you. Declaration of pecuniary interest. If anybody has one, please let me know. Not seeing anything now. Approval of the minutes. 4.1, that the Seniors Advisory Committee approved the July 10th, 2023 Senior Advisory Committee meeting minutes as presented. Member Meyer and seconder, Member Halliday. Okay, discussion on those minutes. Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, item 5, delegations presentations. We have Grey County update to Grey Highlands Senior Advisory Committee from Grey County CAO Kim Wingrove. So Coordinator Thompson, if you could move him over.
Thank you, Chair Allen. So I do see that Kayla Rear, who is the executive assistant to the CAO, has joined the meeting. So I'm going to promote her to a panelist. And Kayla, you should be able to unmute yourself and turn your camera on. Oh, there's Kim.
Yes.
Hi, Kim.
Hello. I'm sorry. Something strange happened with my Zoom link, so I had to steal Kayla's.
Right.
Okay.
So that's perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. Should I share my screen?
Sure. Yeah.
Is that list? Okay. Let me just see.
Is it going to be the same presentation?
It is. It is. Is that okay? Or would you rather just follow along yourselves?
No, share your screen.
Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
So we shall. Oops. Oh, this one here. I believe. Okay. How's
Yes.
that? Is that
That's
okay?
good.
Is that what we needed? Okay.
Yep.
All right. We'll see if we can get there. We are. Okay. That's
Perfect.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I understand that I have a few minutes with you this afternoon, so I was going to do my best to respond to the questions that you provided to me and give a little bit of background about Grey County. So I think, as most people are aware, Grey County is responsible for quite a wide range of services, including the maintenance, repair, construction of county roads and bridges, some land use planning matters, economic development, tourism and culture on a county-wide basis, social housing, licensed childcare, income support for low-income individuals, Ontario Works, paramedic services, which is our ambulance services and other primary care initiatives, long-term care. So we have the 316 beds in 3 different facilities, Lee Manor in Owen Sound, Rockwood Terrace in Durham, and you'll be very familiar with Grey Gables in Markdale. And finally, the Provincial Offences Court in Owen Sound and Walkerton. So that's just a kind of a snapshot of the things that the county is involved in. Our budget's about $225 million a year, operating in capital. We have about 1,000 people that work for us, either full-time or part-time, fulfilling all of those roles. So on to your specific questions. One was, how is the county supporting or initiating efforts to staff the new hospital in Markdale? Well, of course, the staffing of the hospital is the responsibility of Grey Bruce Health Services, but Grey County is actively involved in ensuring that there are staff available for our long-term care homes. And I think that those two things kind of work well together and support each other. So last year, the county made $1 million investment to develop the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program at Georgian College. So that $1 million went to do the renovation, remodeling of the site to create the lab spaces, et cetera, that the college needed to be able to offer a full 4-year degree here in Owen Sound. So we're hoping that, by training, offering this to local people who might not be able to go away to school, this allows people in our community to take advantage of that education and be available to all of our facilities. We're also supporting the Grey Bruce Local Immigration Partnership and the Welcoming Communities Partnership. Know that some of the staffing resources that we're going to need are going to have to come from outside of Grey County proper. So have we enabled the people to come here and to stay here, to feel successful and integrate into our communities? That's what part of GB LIP and Welcoming Communities does. As well, we applied for and were successful in getting some additional funding that allowed us to do 2 rounds personal support worker training with Y Employment, and we were able to offer that to students at a very, very minimal cost to them and support them through their studies. It was very successful, and we're hopeful that we'll be able to do that training again. PSWs as well as nurses are really badly needed. You asked about physician recruitment and what the county is doing to attract and retain family physicians and other healthcare practitioners. And I'm sure you all know that access to primary care is a pretty complex and long-standing issue, and the county itself isn't in control of many of those factors. But we do see how important it is that people do have access to primary care. And so we support where we can with things like the community paramedicine program, remote home monitoring. So that's our paramedics going into people's homes and providing support to them. We also have the supportive outreach service, or SOS program, that has a nurse practitioner. That's actual street outreach that's going to help the most vulnerable people in our communities who may not, or certainly wouldn't have a family doctor and might be somewhat reluctant to attend the hospital. So we can meet them where they are. Recently, your community health center in Markdale made application to a provincial program where they were looking to add some additional resources, and the county supported that application. There are ongoing discussions with various community groups, both locally and on a Grey Bruce wide basis. And we've been invited to participate in those discussions and have done so. The initiatives that they're working on, those two different groups, I think are evolving. And so we're there to support, and if there's a specific ask made to us, I know that council will be considering that ask. I can also tell you that Ontario Health, so this is like the LIN, if I said the LIN to you, is that something that you're familiar with? So Ontario Health has initiated a project across Southwestern Ontario, is the one I'm familiar with, to improve access to primary care. They've brought a lot of specialist people to the table to take a look and to see where the barriers are. And we're actively participating in that work as well. And where we can help, we want to. Assisted living is the county planning for live-in care homes or apartments for special needs and elderly residents to live independently as an alternative to long-term care. While the county's focus is doing the very best we can to provide the mandated long-term care services that we must, we're also looking more broadly. So as I mentioned, the community paramedicine program fills some of the gaps in that home care provision because the paramedics are visiting those patients regularly in their homes. I think that both provides the support and reassurance to the families and the caregivers, but also I think allows that person perhaps to be able to stay at home longer. And I think that program has been very well received. We've been doing this for a number of years now. The counties looked carefully at our planning rules and made amendments to things like providing as of right approval for secondary units. If someone wants to set up a secondary suite in their home, certainly the county's rules will support that happening. In the last year or so, we've been working on an assisted living facility in Owen Sound for people who are recovering from mental health and addictions challenges. So those 12 units will be coming on stream this fall. And we continue to work with CMHC, the mental health and addictions folks. They are the ones who are actually responsible for providing the staffing for a 24/7 supportive housing. And so we're supporting CMHA to be able to deliver those staffing resources. And it's part of the discussion that we'll be having at AMO next week about securing some staffing dollars to support supportive housing. What possibilities are there to provide more social housing in the county? Again, access to funding is really a critical limitation. Last week, we provided an updated housing action plan to county council. We talked about the initiatives that we have undertaken and where we want to go forward into the future. We have been putting in money away to support either new builds by the county or to enable us to partner with nonprofit groups or the private sector to get more housing built. We have about almost $3 million put away to that end. But I think, as you know, housing has become very, very expensive to build, and the grant funding is highly competitive. But we try to be in the game as much as we can to identify properties that we might be able to put forward for housing, or as I say, looking at innovative solutions that might help to provide new housing for our communities. One thing that we have used probably more of lately, because there's not a lot of new housing coming on stream, is these rent supplements. So a rent supplement is provided to a low income tenant to allow them to make up the difference between what they're able to pay and what market rent is. And so we do that because that gives people access to the private rental market. I mentioned the updated housing action plan and the affordable housing fund that we're contributing to. the land banking and surplus land project is across the whole county. We work with all of our member municipalities to understand where there might be property that would be suitable for housing, and work with the sector then to look at potential projects. We can try and take both some of the risk out, but also some of the cost out of a build, and that community improvement plan incentive program is something that can help with deferring or waiving development charges, for example, on a new build. So that would reduce the overall cost of the project and make it more affordable at the end. We can also do a lot around support services for those who are actually homeless. There's a whole continuum of need out there, and those most at need, very, very low to no income at all. So how can we help those people to find a safe and stable place to live? Our housing department works with those folks to try and connect them with services. And we have a motel program in the wintertime to keep people out of the cold, but it's a big challenge and a growing challenge. We do have an age-friendly communities action plan that was adopted in 2022. It was on hiatus while the lead was away for a year, but we're picking that up again. And that action plan focuses on the World Health Organization's age-friendly community domains of having accessible and age-friendly outdoor spaces and public buildings, ensuring that there's access to transportation and housing, opportunities for social inclusion, civic participation and employment, community support and health services, and just general quality of life. So there are a lot of initiatives in that action plan, and we'll be looking at that again in the coming 2024 for again working with our member municipalities and seeing what we can do to move some more of those initiatives forward, because there was an awful lot of input that went into developing that plan, and we don't want it to just sit on the shelf. So I think that's the end of my presentation, so I can stop sharing, and I'd be happy to take any questions that you might have.
Sorry, I muted myself during that. Thank you very much for that presentation. I'll go to the members to see if there are questions. Member Meyer.
Thank you so much, Kim, for coming out and presenting here. This is really great for us, as we have to make recommendations to council, and for us to better understand where everybody is helping and how this is all working together. It's really great. You mentioned, so I just go through your slides. So you mentioned that you just recently invested 1 million in a program at Georgian College for a Bachelor in Nursing.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, how well has that been received? Has that increased actually enrollment?
Yes, they had, they were very much oversubscribed in their request for admission to the program. So there are, I think, I want to say 32 seats. It's in that, around that 30 mark of students in the program. And so they're working their way through, and there'll be another intake starting in September. So then there'll be 30 students. So it's really exciting, and it's wonderful to meet the students. They're so happy. And when I had a chance to talk with some of them at an open house recently and to understand their stories, and what we heard was really gratifying, because there were a few of them said, I could not have realized my dream of becoming a nurse if this wasn't available locally, because I'm just not in a position where I could go away to school. So to have this here made such a difference to people. So that felt really good.
Yeah, because a lot of times, any initiatives that you are putting forward take time. And this is something that presents instant gratification and you
Yeah.
still see
Yeah.
the results, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. That's great. And you also then mentioned on the physician recruitment, you mentioned that you're working together with the LIN and Ontario Health to improve access to primary care. Does that also include, for instance, telehealth? So for people who don't have a physician, that they could have access through the internet, if possible? Is that part?
Yes, that's, I think all of those things are really under development or being looked at carefully. Certainly Grey Bruce Health Services does have a virtual clinic, and they, I think they there's a great deal of interest in seeing that continue on as a way to be able to assist people. But really, I think at this stage, nothing's been excluded. And the conversations that we've had with the county are, if the people who are involved in the system, whether that's the family health team members or the community health center folks or the hospital or whatever, if they can come together and say, this will work, we're behind whatever initiative 100%, and come and talk to us, then I think we're very interested in hearing what they have to say.
Okay, thank you. You also under social housing.
Member Meyer, maybe one more question and then I'll give some other people a chance. And if we have time, I'll come back to you. Is that okay?
That's fine, yeah. So under social housing, you also mentioned that you are trying to find resources and you're setting money aside to provide excess funding. And I'm wondering, a lot of times when people think about it, they are just thinking about money. But if the county also owns public land, are you considering also to put that in public trust and then use that basically as a base for developers to have funds available?
Yes, that's exactly right. So when if we have a piece of property, like the county ourselves, we don't very often build things. That's not our specialty. But if we have a piece of property and then we can put that out and ask the development community to provide proposals back to us about creating seniors housing or affordable housing or whatever, then you've made a fair and open and transparent process for people to participate in if they wish to. And if we can supply the land and take that cost out of the equation, then hopefully that makes the project end up with a more affordable result.
Thank you. Well, I know I'm not allowed to ask any more questions. I just wanted to find out, because you're working on this action plan, and where will that be publicized once it's finalized? Will it be on the county website? Or
Absolutely, everything's on the county website, and if you put in the title of it or answer a question, you'll get the link.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Other questions? Member Kerr. You're muted, Anne.
She's still muted.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
There we go.
Thanks so much. Thank you. It's a great report. I can't believe how large your portfolio is. And I'm wondering, as a volunteer advisory committee, how can we help you with advancing any of these initiatives?
I think that the support of the public, people's interest and input is so critical. Like most recently, the county's looking at doing another strategic plan, updating our strategic plan. It's been a number of years now, and we had put an ask out over social media and on our website, asking for people to provide comment about what they thought the county's top 2 priorities should be going forward. Anytime there's questions like that, it's hugely helpful for us to hear from people. And I believe that question is still available on the website right now if anybody wished to participate. And yeah, going forward from there, anytime that there's support or just ideas that people are aware of an opportunity, let us know. And you know, you guys are our ears and eyes on the street, and if you might be aware of opportunities that we're not, and so if you know of a group or a property or anything like that, and you want to bring it to our attention, we're happy to hear that. And certainly, you know, coming through Grey Highlands, you know, you're part of that municipality, and you have a mayor and a deputy mayor who are at our table, and you know, having Mayor McQueen and Deputy Mayor Nelson, you know, bring forward things to County Council is also very, very helpful. I felt very honored to be asked to speak to you today, so thank you for the kind invitation. And I often think maybe we should be doing more of this too.
May I respond?
Sure.
Yeah, just I'm in a part of Grey Highlands that has a very active like neighborhood network, and we have regular social events, and we don't know each other except for those social events. But that kind of networking, do you think that would be an opportunity to give input to the kind of work that you're trying to do when you try to elicit feedback from the community? Do you think we could use mailing lists like that?
Yeah, like if there absolutely, or if you wanted someone to come in and talk to the group, or you wanted some information to help your group and then you could give feedback, absolutely, anything like that would be a great opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Halliday.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hi, Kim. How are you doing?
Hey, hi, Stuart.
Good. This is a great report, and it was a great idea. Whoever thought of asking you to, and the questions are good, and the responses are wonderful as well. I'm recommending that we consider putting this on our seniors page so that the public can access it and that we can, you know, spread that information. But that'll be in another section. One of the things that I had a quick question on was the nursing program. At one time, I read that if a nurse takes that program, there's actually a subsidy towards their tuition if they stay in Grey County for 5 years. Is that true?
Yes, the province recently extended the Learn and Stay grant, which then covers off their tuition. And I think perhaps some kudos should be extended to perhaps MPP buyers and others, because I don't think we were originally on the list.
Okay.
and then there were some conversations that, you know, this would be a really important thing. So that's great for people who would, you know, commit to learning here and then starting their career here, because we hope that, you know, if you put in a number of years here and get a solid base, you're more likely to stay. And to have that tuition forgiveness again for many of these are mature students, right? So they got lots of other bills to pay too. And
absolutely. No, I thought it was great, and I just thought that maybe it needs more publicity, or maybe you don't need publicity, and you've got 30 people that know about the program, but I just sort of learned it on the off, you know, by just reading social media. So I just wanted a verification of it. There's one other, it is sort of a thing that was being promoted at the county about using surplus lands. As you know, the former Chapman's parking lot is county property. And at one time we were talking about trying to initiate affordable housing in that particular area. And I know that developers would be needed, et cetera. How do we sort of launch that as a, you know, as an initiative that can come from our community to you, saying, how can we help make that, or what can we do to stimulate that?
Right. I think that would be a great thing for there to be a question at county council looking for the status of that particular property and what plans are in play, if any, for the
Okay.
property. Yeah, I think asking for an update at county council and then staff can follow up would be a great idea.
Oh, thanks for that advice. We will make sure that that happens eventually. Okay, thank you. That's all I have. And again, thank you for that report. Oh,
Okay, thank you. Oh,
other quick question. There was a age-friendly community advisory committee to be struck this year. And I'm not sure the status of that. And because we are promoting age-friendly concepts here, and because no other branch of our municipality is doing that. So we'd like to see, is there a chance for us to participate in that committee, and when will it be struck? That was my question. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, the lead for the age-friendly work has just come back to us at the beginning of August. So I know Stephanie's putting together her work plan, and I think there'll be more information coming very soon.
All right, it's on her list then of things to do then.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Kim.
You're welcome.
okay, thank you, Stuart. Any other questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any. I do have one for you, Kim.
Sure.
A lot of the initiatives that promote attainable housing, BC rebates or forgiveness or providing properties. Do you have any way of knowing that it does reduce the cost to the developer, but do you have any way of knowing that is passed on to either the purchaser or the renter? Because we I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, we had a DC holiday and it was well used, but we have no way of knowing whether those savings were passed on. And it'd be a shame to do all this and then it just not get passed on. So
in our situation, there's an agreement that's entered into between the county and the developer, and the requirement is that those units will remain affordable when that's CMHC affordable rate. Those numbers are set by them for a period of 20 years. And so, and if that situation should change and then they decide to make them into condos or they decide to do something else with those units, then the funds that would have been owing are now due and payable.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for that. Last chance for questions or comments. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. So thank you very much, Kim, for taking some time today to present to us. It was a great presentation, and we look forward to seeing the outcomes from these initiatives. So
yeah,
thank you very much.
Thanks so much again for inviting me. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thanks.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. So we need a motion that the Seniors Advisory Committee receive the Grey County update for information. Member Meyer. Okay, I think you've got your name on every motion so far. Seconder. Member Kerr. Okay, thank you. Any discussion on that presentation? Okay, all in favor? That is carried. Okay.
A question.
Yes, Stuart.
Sir. I did mention that I thought this should end up on the seniors link in our municipal website. I don't know how to go about that, Mr. Chair.
I don't know if we need a motion to do that. Just Coordinator Thompson is listening. I think that probably can just be added to the website. Is that okay, or do you want a motion?
Thank you, Chair Allen. I would suggest that there is a motion items to be added to the website does require council's approval. So we can certainly make a second motion for that
Okay.
if the committee wishes.
Sure. Okay. So Member Halliday, you're making the motion?
Yes,
Okay. And that's to add this presentation to the
this-
seniors section of the municipality's website. Okay. And a
Right.
seconder? Member Meyer. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? That's carried. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for that. Okay, next item is items for consideration. And the first one, 6.1, is an update from myself. Fairly lengthy this time. At the July 19th meeting, we had there were several recommendations from the Road Safety Committee Partnership, the Road Safety Community Partnership Committee. And if anybody wants to see what recommendations were made, it's on the July 19th council minutes. There was a recommendation that Grey County approve the subdivision agreement for GH1 developments, and that there's a portion of that development that is to be attainable housing. So council made that recommendation. And yellow bag tags, they were to expire at the end of June. They can now be used at any of the three land the waste and diversion sites, and there's no expiry on them. So if you have any yellow bag tags, you can use them if you take bagged garbage to any of the three sites. August 2nd meeting, there was, we approved phase 1 of the Eugenia District Community Improvement Association for their community park pavilion plan, and phase 2 is to be considered in the 2024 budget. So that's moving forward.
Good.
There was the 2022 annual report from the CEO of the Grey Highlands Public Library that was presented to council. There was also a request from Chapman House in Owen Sound for a $5,000 contribution for the next 3 years, and that was also referred to the 2024 budget. And there were council appointments to numerous community committees, arena boards, hall boards, that type of thing. We put one councillor on each committee with also an alternate. And there were several recommendations from the community improvement plan, or for the community improvement plan, one being the portable accessibility ramps for our businesses. And the committee and task force meetings, we can now have up to 2 per year in person. It requires a 2/3 vote of the members, and they have to be audio recorded so that they can then be put onto YouTube. And that's it.
That's great.
Any questions? Member Halliday.
oh, that's a good update, Paul. I just wanted also to thank council for approving some recommendations from our committee at the last council meeting. And can I sort of go into that a little bit?
A little bit, yep.
Yeah, all right. One was the SAC 2023-70 is they prepare a report for identifying the process for increasing the number of accessible parking spaces in established zones in Grey Highlands, and that was carried. All right.
Okay.
Congratulations on that. Then there was SAC 2023-72 that council advocate to the county of Grey for the creation of an age-friendly logo and flag that could be used to communicate age-friendly concepts, and that flag be used by the county and lower tier municipalities to celebrate Seniors Month in June and Seniors Day on October the 1st, and that was carried. Just apropos of that, there is an initiative, as Kim mentioned, a young lady who is looking after some of those things is now back in, and I'm sure we'll hear more for it. The one that just was carried for information was that the Seniors Advisory Committee we wanted to institute a volunteer recognition program, and that just was, I don't have the details, but it was just received for information. I don't know if you want to provide any background. Should we
Yes.
continue
Yeah,
with?
there's already, staff is already looking at having a volunteer appreciation recognition somehow. It's in its infancy, but it is in
Okay.
the works. So
Okay, so wasn't really needed from us, but just a reminder that staff is working on it. So that was good then. So it was wonderful to have those three items handled by council, and all with positive outcomes. Thanks, Paul, for that.
thank you. Member Meyer.
I have just one follow-up question to Stuart's. He mentioned that October 1st is Seniors Day, and I'm wondering, is the community planning anything special that day? Will there be any special event, party, something going on, breakfast? I don't know.
I don't think there's anything in the works. So
how are we celebrating that day? We don't know yet.
We don't, there's nothing in the works as far as I know.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I'll move that the Senior Advisory Committee receive the municipal update for information. I guess I can't do that when I'm chairing, so somebody else will have to do that.
You can do that, or anybody.
Yeah. Who would like to move that? Okay, Member Brown and Member Meyer is seconding that. Okay, any discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor? That's carried. Okay, update from Council on Aging. I'm Coordinator Thompson. The Chair Silverton didn't give you anything to include.
Thanks, Chair Allen. She did not.
Okay, all right, so we'll just leave that one. 6.3 Southeast.
Member Allen?
Yes.
One thing I did check on the seniors page today, and I clicked on the Council on Aging website, and it was showing that the link wasn't active. So I'm not sure whether that needs to be looked at. If if Coordinator Thompson could look at that. Yes.
Coordinator Thompson.
Thank you, Chair Allen. Through you to Member Halliday. I actually had the same difficulty last week when I was preparing the agenda for today. I believe it appears that the Council on Aging website is temporarily down because I had the same issue. I was going directly to their website and I could not get in there. So it does appear that it's an issue with their website and not our link.
Perhaps I'm not directing you, but I'm suggesting that a fellow by the name who has the same name as me, Wally Halliday, is the chair of that, and perhaps his information appears on all of Lynn's things that she sends out for the Council on Aging. So perhaps we can figure that out, because they do provide lots of great information, and if you don't access it, I mean, Lynn sends it off to us, but the public doesn't get it. So that's the only way the public can get the Council on Aging information. So it's important that website be thing. But Lynn did send us a quick update from Pamela McDermott, who is with Seniors Matters, and so that letter was sent to everybody today. I just want to mention that some of those interesting things that were in that letter came as a result of Lynn's initiative and our initiative to follow that up. So anyhow, that's enough said about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to 6.3, Southeast Grey Community Health Center update. Geoff?
Sure, Ellen. I have nothing to report at this time. There's nothing that of any substance that has changed from the last time we met a month ago. It's basically business as usual. But if anyone does have any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Okay, any questions for Geoff? Member Meyer?
Kim mentioned that you had just recently applied for some staffing updates to the health center. Is that in regards to a physician recruitment, or are there any other staffing issues that are currently that need to be filled?
A little bit above my pay grade as far as what's been applied for, but I can just share with you that we have been, we are, for where we are as far as numbers and waiting lists and things like that, we have put an application in to get increased funding to increase our staffing capacity. I don't have the details on that. If we are interested in that, though, I thought just, after the presentation from Grey County, it might be a thought to ask our executive director, Alex Hector, if you guys would like an update on where we are with that sort of thing and what the short-term and the long-term plans are. He would be in a much better position to share that information.
Great, that would be great.
Okay, if members are wanting to do that or ask, we have a motion.
I move it.
Okay, Member Meyer and Member Halliday. Okay, that we ask the executive director of the CHC to present to the senior advisory committee when convenient for him.
Mm-hmm.
Any discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor? That's carried. Okay, anything else for Geoff? Any questions? Member Halliday?
Geoff, you have an extensive program for seniors, and I don't know whether or not, have you ever considered, or maybe you do it and I'm not aware of it, sort of a seniors focus in the well sometime, where you invite seniors to learn more about the CHC programs for seniors, sort of just a refresher and to enhance your position as a seniors facilitating a lot of seniors events.
So something like an open house, just a little meeting
Yeah.
in order to say, this is what we do. Please share the word with the other seniors.
Right.
I think it's a great idea.
And with the appropriate donation model on as you come in, right? To raise funds.
Yeah,
No,
I
I'm
think
just
that's a
kidding,
great
but
idea.
not really kidding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I will just comment that we are still in the works of setting up the lunch and learns for the fall that
Right.
Lynn had suggested before, and that might be an opportunity during that. Although we were wanting to do a couple of specific things for that, but sure, I think that's a great idea, and it's something I can take back to the center to do.
Thanks, Geoff, for that.
Okay, Member Meyer.
I have a question. I participated in the new AquaFit program, which has excellent attendance, and everybody who comes there loves it. And people are wondering if there is any thought in the works to revamp the pool in Flesherton so that it can be continued also during the winter months. Do you know anything about that?
Just a question, where would you suggest that happens in Flesherton?
As I
There's a pool at the Flesherton Commons, and I can answer this. The Municipal League had a meeting, what was it, Stuart, a couple of months ago now?
Right.
And there were different ideas put out there, and that was one of them, to try to get that pool going. And so there was a committee struck, and I'm assuming they're working on that, trying to get people interested, and it's going to take money. That's the bottom line. So
So my response to that specific question is that if there is an opportunity to do that, and there's interest in enough numbers, and we get to the point where that could happen, I would think that we would absolutely be interested in doing something like that for sure.
Okay. Member Halliday?
Yes, I'm just thinking, haven't given a lot of thought, but it would seem that it's a good initiative for a social enterprise organization to be created to make that evolve, and that donations would receive a charitable receipt, etc. So that I think that needs to be formed. I'm not sure how we can form that. I do sit on the municipal league, but I really haven't done anything on that project. But I think it needs that sort of sophisticated apparatus of, to be set in place so that they can raise funds to make it happen. It's all about money, and social enterprise then could maintain it and staff, organize the staffing, etc. So it's a good project for somebody in that mindset to be able to undertake. I know the municipality that's outside the bounds of the current thinking in the municipality, but doesn't mean that something can't happen. So that's just there for information, and maybe we can bring it forward in further discussions. I'm planting a seed in a community garden today. That's it.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments for Geoff? Okay, if not, there's it wasn't really an update, but we'll call it one, so that a motion that the Seniors Advisory Committee received the Southeast Grey Community Health Center update for information. Member Kerr and Member Halliday. And any discussion on that? If not, all those in favor? That's carried. Thanks, Geoff. 6.4 Action Plan Subcommittee Update. Who's going to take this? Member Halliday.
I'll start by saying that there's not much. We haven't had any discussions. Louise is away, I think, and so she was part of the small committee. But I will refer back to the seniors meeting of June the 12th, where it was mentioned in that the Grey Highlands multi-year accessibility plan 2023-2027 has been passed by council on April the 5th, 2023. And it more or less says the importance of feedback and review are needed, but we have no mechanism to make that that feedback. There is no feedback loop being created by that plan. So I'm just putting it out there so that it gets recorded in the minutes that we need to relook at the April 5th accessibility plan and figure a way that plan can be activated so that there are ways of creating feedback for that strategy. So, and that's all I really want to say about that. We will continue. We're very pleased as a committee that the municipality is looking into accessibility parking, and we would probably like to think that the connecting link in Flesherton has 2 locations north and south of County Road 4 that might be able to have accessible parking put in place. We're hoping the committee, the municipality is considering that. We also know that probably there are plans being looked at for the Markdale connecting link, which eventually will hopefully receive funding and that accessibility be part of that strategy. And of course, there's always been a need for a crosswalk from Grey Gables over across to the east side of the street. So I'm not sure if we can figure a way that we can get input into those discussions, but I'm recommending that we try and figure out a way that we can participate in that discussion.
So are you going to do that? Is the subcommittee going to do that?
We will, if we will continue to pursue it, and perhaps because a lot of work went into this thing, and we will continue thinking about that and making that recommendation. That we look at the Flesherton connecting link first of all, and then be involved in the development of the Markdale connecting link plans. All right. Member Kerr, do you want to have anything further in that? Or are you taking notes?
No, I'm taking notes. That'd be great.
Oh, the other thing.
Shall meet, yeah.
The other thing, of course, is there was a motion passed by council to investigate parking around Walker Street and the old 11 Toronto Street initiative, and I'm not sure where that's going, but that of course interests us because part of the motion was that we look at accessibility in those parking lots. So again, that is on our radar as how we move forward.
The 11 Toronto Street, that's part of the downtown improvement, that whole plan. So we've got to wait for that to kind of work its way through before we make any decisions on parking. I know it was bought for parking, but it was included in the downtown improvement.
Yeah, I realize that to me was good news, bad news. But the thing is there any timelines on that?
Well, that's a good point, because it's just sitting there. Might as well tear the building down and make it into a parking lot for now, but we'll see. That's something that should be discussed, the timelines on the downtown improvement plan. So
right. Okay, so we're taking notes here, and we'll make sure that we address some of these concerns in a report for the next meeting. Then, thank you.
Okay. All right. So a motion that the Seniors Advisory Committee receive the action plan subcommittee update for information. Who would like to make that motion? Member Meyer and Member Brown. Any discussion? All those in favor? That's carried. 6.5, I talked about this in my report. That this, so we're allowed up to 2 annually, and it takes a 2/3 vote of the members to agree on a date, and then needs to be audio recorded. So any discussion on this, Member Halliday?
I think it's a good idea. Our seniors committee meets on a Monday, usually at 1:30. Would it be possible to use in our in-person meeting the council chambers on that day? Could we book it so that the system could record us? And
I'm not sure if they want to allow the use of council chambers or not. It's something that could be asked. It takes one staff member to run this meeting. So if somebody needed to come into the meeting at the beginning to start the process, they wouldn't necessarily have to be there the whole meeting. So I'll go to Coordinator Thompson.
Thank you, Chair Allen. Through you to Member Halliday, the approval from council was strictly for in-person meetings, and those meetings will only be audio recorded. So there will be no video recording or streaming of those meetings. So just to clarify that, and that will remain just the one staff, myself, taking minutes and looking after the audio recording, which will be then uploaded to the YouTube.
So you, Coordinator Thompson, you will still be attending that meeting? Okay. All right. So does it make sense to have it in council chambers?
Thank you, Chair Allen. Yes, and I believe that is the intent.
Okay.
And I have
Okay.
taken a look. I jotted down the future dates remaining in 2023. And I can see that the September meeting date is available in council
Okay.
chambers. I will note that, if I may, that the September meeting and the October meeting, at this point, we may have a tentative presentation in relation to the Grey County Age-Friendly Action Plan. So whether it was the committee's intention that that be virtual, it may be more ideal for the presenter to meet in virtual format and present that way. And that would be provided to the public through the virtual Zoom. That would not be available to be shared to the public if it's an in-person only meeting. So that's just a consideration for the committee to be aware of. Taking a look at the October date, it's also available in council chambers. November as well. And I can also confirm that the December date is open in council chambers. So that's just for the committee's information.
Okay. So we've also made a motion that we ask the executive director of the CHC to come. Now, I wouldn't think that would be a problem if it's in person. It's literally across the field. But we should check with people that are going to be presenting to see if they are okay with doing in person. If not, then we need to schedule our in-person meetings around those. So,
Right. Okay, so we've had a good discussion on it, so something will happen then.
so how about if we try to find out when the two possible presenters are available, and we discuss this at our next meeting, and hopefully we have dates for them coming. And then we can schedule the in-person.
That's good.
Okay. Any other discussion on this? Okay, so a motion that the Seniors Advisory Committee receive Grey Highlands Council Resolution 2023-626 for information. A mover for that, Member Meyer. And seconder,
Me.
Member Halliday. Okay, all those in favor? That's carried. Okay, and then 6.6.
Yes, it was mentioned at the last meeting in the minutes that the age-friendly action plan on the senior section of the Grey Highlands website. Now, we do have the sort of the summary plan there, but it would be nice if somebody's really interested in what the county plans to do and the municipality in conjunction and collaboration, that we have access to that on the that we don't have to keep looking for it. That might be made available on our seniors page as one of those click on bars, and I'm recommending that. And we may end up having to maybe making a motion on that. The other point that on that meeting was that the seniors initiatives to be shared through Grey Highlands communication channels. What I was really thinking of was to have use of the what's happening, a little section in what's happening for seniors. And I think it's a bi-weekly big ad in the advance. So I'm going to be requesting that there's be a little section for seniors activities or seniors information that gets sort of it doesn't need to be maybe once a month, but that we do some advertising or, communications. I always say that the Advance is the only local paper that exists, and we need to continue to support it. And it's important that we also contact our seniors through that vehicle as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, motion then is that age-friendly action plan be put on the senior section of the Grey Highlands website, and that seniors initiatives be shared through Grey Highlands. I'll say be more specific what's happening. Bi-weekly ad in the Advance. So I like to see that we come up with a section there. That would be my motion. If Coordinator Thompson can smooth that out for my jerky presentation.
So you're not saying every time that what's happening is in the paper that we would have something, but just
be nice to have it once a month. I mean, it does come out, I think bi-monthly, what's happening. So perhaps maybe
bi-weekly, every other week.
Yeah. So maybe then if that's 26 weeks that we get 13 opportunities to do some seniors updates.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can, when this motion comes to council, we can discuss that and
Right.
see how we go about providing.
I'm only
that
looking,
information.
for a little bit of an inch, kind of thing there. Just adds a little bit of extra depth to what's happening.
Okay. Coordinator Thompson, did you smooth his motion over?
Thank you, Chair Allen. I have captured it. And I would just like a little bit of clarification. I'm taking a look now at the seniors page on Grey Highlands website, and I can see there is a section called Age-Friendly Community Goals.
Right.
And it identifies the age-friendly community goals as laid out in the Grey County Age-Friendly Community Action Plan that were adopted by Grey Highlands Council on August 3rd, 2022. And there is a link there to the Grey County Age-Friendly Community Action Plan. Is it?
Oh, I
yes,
must have missed.
That's okay.
That then.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I can see that that's included there. So
okay, so I mean that's the kind of stuff that we could put in our little blurb in the Advanced kind of stuff then, because if I look at it and didn't read to the bottom, obviously I may not be the only person. So thank you for that, Coordinator Thompson.
Okay, and go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Allen. Would we like that portion of the motion then to be removed, and we would only have then the second portion relating to the senior section in the What's Happening publication?
I still would like to see it as a link. In other words, you've got the age-friendly goals. How about age-friendly action plan?
So thank you, if I may, that it is a link to the action plan.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
There.
There is a link that you click on. It says age-friendly goals. All right. So that's a bar when you look at the screen. I'd like a bar that says age-friendly action plan. There's no bar there for that. I can click on it directly. I have to go through the goals first. All right. So just a direct link. That's all. Coordinator Thompson still with us?
Well, they're coming back. So why don't we leave it the way it is, and we'll discuss it at council, and if it's already there, then we'll leave it. If not, we'll make a recommendation. So can you read that back to us, Coordinator Thompson, please?
Thank you, Chair Allen, through you to the committee. The recommendation moved by Member Halliday, noting that there's no seconder at this time, that the Seniors Advisory Committee recommend that Council direct staff to place a direct link to the Grey County Age-Friendly Community Action Plan on the senior section of the Grey Highlands website, and that the Seniors Advisory Committee recommend that Council include a senior section in the What's Happening publication on a monthly basis.
Does that capture everything, Member Halliday?
Yeah.
Okay. So do we have somebody that would like to second that? Member Meyer. Any further discussion? Okay, those in favor? That's carried. Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 7, members' privilege. Member Halliday.
Yes, I'd like to bring forward some information on an organization that keeps sending me emails, and it's being sent out by Morris Voisin, who I think is the head of the Southeast Grey community group. What's it called, Paul?
Southeast Grey Support Services.
Support Services. Yeah, he's the manager of that. But it's called Seniors for Social Action Ontario, and there's a lot of initiatives that are happening there. I think we need to be able to, if there's another organization that's exploring, for example, I just received one that they're talking about. There's a video program on elders abuse, etc. So I don't know how that links, but we need to explore that we are perhaps we get Morris to present to our organization more information about that. So that's my only thing that I wanted to bring forward, that Seniors for Social Action Ontario.
Okay, so are you making a motion that we ask, I'm not sure his title, whether he's executive director.
Morris Voisin,
the-
anyhow. Yeah,
of the Southeast Grey Support Services to present to the Senior Advisory Committee at a future date. Okay.
Yes.
A seconder for that? Member Kerr. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? That's a good idea. Yeah, that's carried. Any other members' privilege? Member Meyer.
I know that we have talked in the past about lunch and learn sessions or something like that. And I think we were asked last time to bring forward maybe some ideas on who could present there and some information that is interesting to seniors. So somebody like Mr. Halliday, Member Halliday just suggested would be also, or could be also, a great person to present at personal meetings. Or what is the whole idea behind it? Are we just sitting there talking to each other, or do we have a theme that will be presented at these meetings? Like we have two, I believe, right? Two. Or am I mixing something up here?
I think the lunch and learns are put on by the CHC, I believe. Okay. And I think Geoff mentioned that they're working on those. So if you have some ideas for topics or specific speakers, then I guess now is the time to mention to Geoff or send him an email or.
Okay, I just wanted to understand the process. So it's two different things. So lunch and learn is something done by the health center, and we are hosting two in-person meetings that would be similar to what we're doing here on Zoom, but just in person.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So if you have any ideas for speakers or topics, then let Geoff know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other members' privilege? Okay, not seeing anything. So our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, September 11th. We all remember that day, 2023 at 1:30, and it will be virtual at this point, and then we can discuss whether we want to have an in-person. Okay, so I would entertain one more motion that the Senior Advisory Committee adjourn at 2:45 until the next meeting or the call of the chair. Member Meyer, and Member Kerr. All right, all those in favor? That's carried. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, staff. Thanks, Geoff,
Thank you.
for joining. We'll see you next month.
Thank you. Thank you.